Hey YouTube land. So I continue to get lots of people asking me, when are you ever gonna get that project running? And that's a very good question. I'm struggling with that myself. So I thought I'd do this video here as a quick update just to kind of show where things are at with this whole ranch rod project, because we have not made much progress here, in the recent past. So one of the things that really has held things up is I actually moved in late August, about 160 miles east of here. So still have this place as well where my old vehicles are at and some of my other stuff. And so I haven't had a chance to get up here too much lately with chasing kids around with work and traveling around. Just haven't spent much time here in my shop, and it's been really tough to make any sort of progress. So I'm going to try to be spending a little more time here in Billings, every couple of weeks, working on the office up here. And on these nights, I'll be able to go ahead and hopefully make some more progress on some of this stuff and be able to make some more videos. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at really what I have left to do on this ranch rod before we can go ahead and do that first fire up, because I know people are curious. Geez, let's see if I even remember what needs to be done to this thing at this point, because it has been a little while. But let's see what I remember. Fuel system, some of you remember I did make a video on that. Fuel system is actually in pretty good shape. So all the plumbing is actually done. One of the things you can see is that I don't have a boost reference yet to that fuel pressure regulator, so I will have to make that up. You can see here on my booster, I don't have any connection to the back of the Phytech. Actually, not the Phytech, sorry, to the back of the intake manifold for a vacuum source. So I have a few little things to do there. I have to go ahead and put a relay in and run some power for my fuel pump. And so that's something. And at that point, fuel should be ready to roll. For my first fire up, I'm just going to do it naturally aspirated on the Phytech here. So the Phytech, it's bolted on. You can see that the throttle linkage is all taken care of. The wiring, I haven't done any of the wiring yet on this Phytech. So not a ton of connections, but I will have to go ahead and do that. So this is a old points distributor, a dual points distributor even, woo, that I have put in there. This is actually just for first fire up. It's something I got relatively cheap, had proof that it went ahead and sparked. And so, thought it'd be a good thing to isolate a couple issues potentially from the Phytech running the timing or anything else. And so it's in there ready to go. I need to rob a coil from the old engine that came out of this, and then my ignition is actually pretty good for first fire up. Some of you may notice that, well, you talked about a coil, but you have a coil right there. So that's the coil from the 91. I could maybe use it for first fire up, but it'll be easier just to grab the old one. The reason this coil is bolted in here is I will ultimately be using that TFI coil from the 91. Some of you may be also seeing, here's an MSD box sitting in the fender well. It's the 6AL-2, which I think is a 6530. And so I will be ultimately using that box too. It has capability to connect to a map sensor. It has a digital map that you can put in so you can pull timing based upon how much boost there is. I think I'll be able to utilize the EFI distributor. It's already locked out. There's no advanced mechanism in it. It has a Hall effect signal, and if I know what I'm doing, if I've read the information correctly, I think this MSD box will recognize a Hall effect trigger and we'll be able to do that. So that's the plan for now. I guess if for some reason, if that doesn't work, we'll probably have to find an MSD distributor or something like that and lock it out and maybe phase the rotor and go from there. The exhaust system, it's good. Of course, power steering's there. It's ready to roll. We got the belts routed for my serpentine, as we've seen in earlier videos. I mentioned about the exhaust. The headers are on, but you can see that the headers do not attach to anything right now. And so I have the muffler kind of propped up in position there underneath the pickup. And what I really need to do is I need to run some exhaust. I need to weld it up. I have a 3-inch exhaust duals. And so I need to weld it up and put a bung in the exhaust so that I can go ahead and connect my O2 sensor so I can run the Phytech off it. So not a ton of stuff actually needs to be done for this first fire up. So I'm sure there's some of you at this point are like, just get it done already. What are you waiting on? Yeah, I agree with you. I echo your sentiments, and I just need to spend a little more time. You can see the inside. It looks pretty bare bones at this point, although the tank is in. The bung's in the bottom, got the fuel line. Probably need to run a vacuum, clean it up a little bit, have the seat sitting over in the corner, throw the seat in, and away we go. Yeah, I have to connect the filler neck too. Just little stuff like that. So hopefully here in the near future, like I said, I'll be making some more trips up to Billings, and I'll be able to get this thing ready and fired up. Because shortly after that first run is that we'll be able to go ahead and put that supercharger hat on it and have it start learning before we throw any boost at it. Yeah, not much to see under here. Just you can see that a muffler is propped up. Just needs some pipe run to it. That's a MagnaFlow. It's dual 3-inch in, dual 3-inch out. It's got the X pipe as part of the whole assembly there. I think it should work okay. Hopefully not too much restriction inside there with that X pipe, because it does narrow down a little bit, which I wasn't happy to learn about after the fact. But you know what? We're gonna go ahead and make it work. Wish I had more to show you. Wish I had a way better update than what I currently have. But that's kind of where we're at. So we'll try to get things going. And you know, I'm as excited as anybody to hopefully see this thing go. And it's not hurting anybody's feelings more than it's hurting mine right now. So stay tuned. The project's not dead, hasn't gone anywhere. I just need to get off my behind and actually make it happen. So thanks for viewing. If you got any other questions, let me know.